When asked how to tackle some of the world's biggest challenges around sustainability, cities, education, health and wellness, it's almost overwhelming. Our group decided, how do we tackle these? Well, maybe there's one underlying issue that is impacting all of them. And we looked into our own backyard to see what we're wrestling with here in Austin, Texas, and it's our land development codes. You've probably heard of it, Code Next. It's taken 6 years and $8.5 million to try and come up with a solution on how we build our shared communities together. What's on the line with this? This determines what gets built, where, and how. That's a lot to impact. Everything from your library to your sidewalks to where your family commutes is impacted by our shared land development codes. And we looked into why this was failing. What's the problem? Why did this take 6 years and $8.5 million? Mayor Steve Adler gave the city manager 6 months to come up with a new process. What was the problem? Why did their process fail? Well, it's hard for people to commit to a long-term forecast for land development codes that can last for up to 50 years. It's hard to get citizen input. And there was a lack of transparency throughout the process. So we interviewed a local urban planner, Jolene, and she told us this.
I wish the public cared. Usually they only come out when something is concrete and it impacts them in a negative way. I don't know how the city can adequately educate and prepare the public for what's needed when we're making these plans.
And this led us back to what Mayor Steve Adler said. Progress moves at the speed of trust. Right now, one of the problems is a lack of trust. In fact, that is the underlying problem for this whole process. There's a lack of trust because there's a lack of communication. And the reason citizens didn't trust them is because commissioners were missing out on one thing, the human connection. The local residents didn't feel connected to the part of the process, and they therefore didn't buy in, which resulted in a failed proposal. So that leads us to our problem formation. How might we build trust and reestablish the human connection between city residents and urban planners throughout the code development process? Now, there are a lot of great ideas already out there that work in the world like this, whether it's apps for citizens, citizen science as they transmit their data from their smartphone, IoT, all these examples are working in real cities around the world today, and we know some of this can be applied here in Austin, uniquely through IBM's partnership and our offerings between design thinking, workshop facilitation, and our advanced computing and AI technologies. We think we're the perfect partner to help solve this problem here in Austin. It's by no way going to be solved overnight, but we know there's some easy wins that we can use to get started today. The first thing we would do is facilitate a design thinking workshop with city council members. We want to leave room in that workshop to find ideas that solve the problem by bringing that human connection back between city residents and urban planners, and we need to engage these key stakeholders to help find that solution. But today we came up with what could be a potential solution already.
As a city planner, I need a way to get feedback from my community on plans for a brand new bike lane I'm proposing. Snail mail is slow and is easily ignored, but now I can also share with the community using this app. Relevant users will get a notification on their phone that there's a planning proposal that could affect them. They can view these changes in a visual way that they can interact with. This gives them the opportunity to provide feedback and express concern. I'll receive that feedback in a web interface that makes it easy to visualize insights and augments my existing data. It could leverage technologies like Watson Tone Analyzer, Natural Language Classifier, and other powerful IBM tools to provide valuable insights and suggestions, allowing me to make an informed decision on whether I need to iterate further or execute as is.
So vote for us so we can bring people together and bring the connection back as we develop our next land development codes.